Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. It's a new era in the Indian team. We've seen these players play before, but it looks like this is going to be the team going forward for the distant future in T20s. A convincing win today, 65 runs against New Zealand, led by Hardik Pandya. Again, it was a special day from Surya Kumar Yadav. He's the number one T20 cricketer, T20 batsman in the world for a reason. And we will discuss more of Surya. But I have with me Faz wearing his Argentina jersey. The World Cup fever. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Argentina is though not my team, but yeah, I just had happened to have this, and so I decided to wear it on the show, just to let people know that the World Cup is coming, and we'll be sort of having more information on our other channel that we have, Chasing the Green Arrows, and hopefully you guys can follow that. Coming back to the target, the cricket, Surya Kumar Yadav. I was just thinking about it a few hours ago that he is one of those players that makes me feel like we have a foreign player. You know what I mean? Like he gives you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He gives you that
Actually,
feeling that you have a.
Akash Chopra tweeted something similar to what you said, but he said that this is India's first proper T20 batsman.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, this guy gives you a feeling like you have an ABD Villiers, you have a mix of like
Yeah.
Glenn Maxwell, you have someone who can take you to you just get that comfort zone. And yes, Sky is definitely pure protein power. You can see the forearms and the thing. You can see the fitness. Ashish Bhai, that I've been telling you, the
There's no
fitness
protein
is
there, man.
that.
The guy is just like a magical wand. Is like straight out of Hogwarts. यहाँ फिरा रहा छक्का जा रहा उधर फिरा रहा छक्का जा रहा. He doesn't look like physically like going to the gym or anything like that. He's just talented timing, man. That's all it is.
He's basically the Salman Khan of cricket. He defies physics. So I think that's something
झिंगा दिखता
he
हूँ नहीं जब
defies.
बैटिंग करते वक्त आता है ऐसा दिख रहा है कि कौन है ये सुक्का आके खेल रहा मगर oh my god, man, unbelievable shots again today. I will talk about it in the eye test. Actually, screw this, let's go into the eye test right now and talk about it. 111 or 51 deliveries. How many fours? 11 fours, seven
Yeah.
sixes, strike rate of 217.64. Sensational, unbelievable. He was my fantasy pick. मगर उसमें कुछ बैगन मिलता नहीं, but he was my fantasy pick, and this is why it's like it was an obvious pick. I think a lot of people would have picked him in their team. He's in sensational form, and he's risen to the occasion for India since that England series in England in the summer, and since then he's not looked back. He's batted really well, and you expect him to also get out, like in the semi-finals against Adil Rashid. The way he played that shot, it was a good shot. He found the fielder. You don't mind taking those risks, and I think more and more batsmen, of course, you won't have the range that Surya does, but I think they have to play that attacking cricket because he took the game away from New Zealand in those last 4 overs itself.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, he's not been looking back, like you said. And the best thing about Surya Kumar, like I've mentioned again and again, is that he plays on his terms. He doesn't care who's in front of him. He doesn't care who's batting on the non-striker's end. He does not care about the situation. He just wants to play the cricket the way he knows how to. Right? He's not gonna try and do something that he doesn't know, something that he's gonna you know experiment, and he just wants to go and have fun and have a blast. He is, like I just read a few minutes ago, that he gives me the protective feeling that we have a foreign player in our team. We have someone who can sort of potentially change the whole dynamic of the game. And 111 of like 51 balls, like how do you do that? How many shots do you have in you? How much ferocity do you have in you that you're इतना बुरा कैसा मारते यार वो?
और क्या हो रहा था मालूम? He was when they were straying down the path, he was flicking it, he was making some room, even if they were trying to bowl that straighter length, they hit that middle stump, उन्हें shuffle करके उड़ा दे रहा था fine leg के ऊपर, square leg के ऊपर. And then when they bowled that slower delivery, there was one delivery that Ferguson bowled, and I wanted to mention it in the eye test. It was a slower ball. It was hard to hit like that anywhere for a boundary, right? He waited, and उन्हें third man और point के बीच में से निकाला. I didn't
Wait,
expect him to do that.
who did he hit?
Fergie.
Yeah, just whenever this is for you. Lucky Ferguson.
Ferguson. Man, I thought you were like testing me on something, but yeah, it was Ferguson.
No,
I
man.
remember that ball clearly. He hit him between point and third man, and it was a sensational shot because he of course, he picked the pace. He knew it was a slow delivery, but to place it there and generate that power as well was outstanding. So that's what it is, right? He plays with your line and length, and he has every single shot in the book, and he doesn't mind getting out. I don't think he's worried about agar out ho gaya
Yeah,
to out ho gaya. He won't change his game, and
yeah,
superb. More than anything, man, I don't know usko kahan chupa ke rakhe like 6 saal se. He's 32 now. He's at the peak of his powers, but I don't know how many more years we can get out of him. But if you look at it from the positive side, a lot of great Australian cricketers also started their careers in the 30s and they peaked when they were 34, 35. So hopefully this is his peak and we can see more of that going into the next 50 over World Cup as well.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I would really want to see him how he's going to perform in a 50 over match. It's obviously 30 more overs than a 20, but if he bats like this in a 50 over match with a 200-300 मार देता आराम से एक 50 over
उन्हें
game में.
50 ओवर खेला भी नहीं शायद अभी तक. I don't
I
think he's
know, I've
played
not
50
seen him
overs.
play.
उसको रखे ही नहीं स्क्वाड
अभी
में,
तक नहीं
but
खेला
he
आई
has
थिंक.
to.
बट लाइक वही है कि भाई अब इतनी लेट पिक क्यों कराए, या मे बी ही डिसाइडेड टू कम ऑन हिमसेल्फ एट दैट एज probably, God knows, but
But honestly,
I'm happy that
there was 1 year, that 1 year 2019, 2020, that's when he started making headlines and everything. Before that he was inconsistent. Even for KKR, I
yeah,
remember उन्हें
वो तो
wicket फेंका
मुंबई
था.
इंडियंस की शुरुआत में भी he wasn't that good, like you said, like he was not able to understand कैसा खेलना है ऐसे level पे,
He's
and I think
basically
now he's
translated
just
into consistency. He's translated into
yeah,
consistency. He knows now कि भाई okay, I have the shots and everything. मैं wicket फेंकने का नहीं, मारो मगर अच्छे तरीके से मारो. And I think with experience, he's played even when he started his international career last year in the T20 World Cup. घंटा कुछ नहीं उखाड़ा उन्हें, कुछ भी नहीं करा
yeah,
था. He
yeah,
hardly could do anything. Even in the Asia Cup, at times he struggled. Yeah, he played well against Hong Kong. So he consistency has been an issue with him, but now he's really kind of crack that with innings that you don't mind if he fails in other matches. He's
yeah.
not going to be a Virat Kohli hit like average of 60, 70, but he'll get you 100 like this and win you the game.
Yeah, he always had the talent. Probably it was just the hard work that he needed to do in terms of consistency and finding his right rhythm. I think उसकी timing of the ball भी जबरदस्त है. I think when he timed it इतना बुरा जबरदस्त time करता कि there's no chance that he's going to go
Absolutely.
to fielder. And आज भी जो paddle shots मारा आज, you can't do that. I mean, it's like I think he has थोड़ा बहुत. I feel like he's an AB de Villiers kind of a player. He can be that player. अगर खाली उन्हें 50 over में he starts entering his game into the 50 over era, then I think he will be an AB de Villiers. He can be an AB de Villiers because he has the shots into him, and he can definitely be a future captain if he wants to.
Yeah,
What do
one
you
thing I would say that he'll need to work on for the 50 overs and even test matches, if he wants to go there, is his defense and which ball to leave, which ball not to leave. Because T20 you can hit every ball,
Yeah,
but in 50 overs and in particular in test, but 50 overs also he'll need to have a solid defense. AB de Villiers. I've seen him play in innings 30 of 150 or 160 against India
yeah,
on the
yeah,
ranked tournament. I think it was Kanpur or Nagpur or somewhere. He played that kind of innings. So that's where AB de Villiers differentiates from a lot of other batsmen.
yeah.
Of course, Butler is also 360, Surya is 360, but where he defines himself is that he has a very solid defense and he has the patience to select which ball to hit. He has a good leave on him as well. He can pick that line and length. He won't be tempted every single delivery. And if Surya can work on that, I think he'll be a sensational 50 over player as
Yeah,
well.
I agree completely. I think it's a transition like you spoke of, in like in the IPL he was not able to get, and then he learned the format. He sort of went back and sort of understood himself
Yeah.
in a 20 over format situation and what he's doing wrong. He worked on that, and now today the result is that. I think 50 overs also, if you give him a series or two, let him in the beginning, experiment himself. Let him go out wide. Let him sort of, do everything and fail, try and error, and then somewhere he's going to find himself where he's going to understand. Okay, now I need to be defensive at this point. I need to be attacking at this point. Read the situation and sort of then, pace his innings accordingly. So I think it's just a trial and error with this kind of people, and I think it's one definitely he will be interesting to look at in the 50 over format.
Yeah, Ashish Singh, Huda better bowler than Ashwin Chahal, better than Aksar. Management effed up again in another World Cup. Also, like I'll tell you something very honestly, these players as well, like Chahal ko bhi pick kare to usko bhi पीटते थे उन्हें. Asia Cup में मैं देखा must game win था against Sri Lanka. He didn't pick up any
Yeah,
wickets. He didn't do anything. Bilateral आ गया, सब आगे जान लगा रहे हार्दिक पांड्या. मतलब ऐसा दिखा रहे कि भाई मैच कैप्टन हूँ और कुछ है नहीं. When it comes to the World Cup, the Indian team mentally need to be stronger. They have to be more fearless. यहाँ पे खेल लेते fearless. They play to their potential because there's nothing on the line. When there's something on the line, you have to take those risks where these guys don't. Like Chahal starts bowling flatted. If you notice, अच्छा flight कर रहा था आज, उसको कोई टेंशन नहीं था, छक्का मारो मारने तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. He had good variations on him. He सुकून में था. अब यही मैच रखो इंडिया पाकिस्तान का नॉकआउट मैच, he'll start bowling quicker, he'll start bowling flatter. And I'm not picking just Chahal. Indian players in general, they go on the defensive in a knockout game. They have to be more aggressive, they have to take risks. Like Surya, it didn't pay off for him, but at least his intention was right in the semi-final.
I think ऐसा भी हो
Chahal is a
सकता है,
big ground player. जब तक उसको खिलाएंगे नहीं तो पता कैसा चलेगा. 2 World Cup and he's warming the bench. He's a big ground player. You can say that, man. But in Asia Cup, the grounds were pretty big. वहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा था. Every other spinner was performing except for him. Hasaranga was performing. Theeksana was performing. Shada was performing. Rashid Khan was performing. Mujib was performing. He was the only guy, bro, who was not performing. So I don't take that as
even
like
the
he.
Ireland guy was performing.
That was in the thing. I'm talking about Asia Cup where Chahal was
Oh,
playing,
Asia
when
Cup,
he was
yeah.
picked. I don't think I don't think he should have he should have performed better. अगर उन्हें वहाँ पे performance दिया तो उसका बनता World Cup में. उन्हें perform ही नहीं कर रहा है Asia Cup में, फिर World Cup में how do you expect him to play? Yeah, everyone saying you need a leg spinner, you need a leg spinner. I agree with that. They should have tried him, but I don't think he would have performed. That's all I'm saying. Because when he was given the chance in Asian conditions, he didn't make the most of it. When every single other person in his field with his bowling style performed. So that's my simple thing. It's big game pressure, man. Bhuvi got picked even after getting thrashed. Yeah.
But today's spell was pretty good. He bowled like three
But the
overs and
thing
gave
is,
away 12 runs.
the thing is, Bhuvi 2-3 overs was in every game. Even in England, was picking new wickets. उन्हें Butler को निकाल रहा था, new ball के साथ wickets निकाल रहा था. The plan was him and Bumrah, Bumrah will handle the death hero. He'll handle the new ball. But with Chahal, uh, of course, I think he should have got a game instead of Ashwin. The reason why they didn't do it because they wanted an extra batsman, and if they needed to do that, they would have done Harshal Patel instead of Bhuvneshwar Kumar. But they didn't
Bhubaneswar,
trust
yeah.
Harshal Patel. So it's simple as that. कोई भी रहने दो यार, like वो टीम अश्विन के साथ भी जीत सकते हैं, अच्छा खेल सकते हैं, मगर आप इंटेंट नहीं दिखा रहे तो it's not going, nothing's going to happen. You have to show the intent. You have to play fearless cricket.
I think it's just banking on the fact that he's only probably the only leg spinner in the team right now, and I think वो थोड़ा उन्हें comfort zone में रह के नई experiment कर रहा है या नहीं उतना अपने आप को develop कर रहा skill. But yeah, I think IPL also coming, and now you see a lot of Yuzvendra Chahal again, sort of in the limelight. But when it comes to like these cups and stuff, I do agree with Ashish to a certain extent that 2 World Cups if he's warming the bench, you want to know what his range is, or where he's going to be able to bowl in a World Cup. But from a Chahal perspective, I think he just needs to be more intense and sort of experiment and not be afraid of getting hit. If he gets hit, he gets hit, but he needs to grow as a
यार वो
grow as
मैच
a
भी
player.
देखो जो बायलैटरल मैच था इंडिया साउथ अफ्रीका का, जब मार पड़ी थी, started bowling flat and he had lost his confidence over there. I think for me I would play Ravi Bishnoi over Chahal. That's what I would have done. I would have played a leg spinner. I would have played Ravi Bishnoi in the thing. He bowled superbly in the Asia Cup. He got Babar Azam out as well. Of course he bowls more googlies, but I think he would have worked, and a lot of batsmen wouldn't have really been able to pick him, and that's what it is. Yes, like you need to play a leg spinner, but I'm just saying, man, उसको खिलाए भी तो उन्हें, उसको जब खिलाए उन्हें नहीं परफॉर्म करा बड़े मैचेस में, तो वो क्या, it is what it is. And when it
Speaking
comes to
of yeah.
Bhuvneshwar Kumar also, I don't think should have played. You should have gone with a youngster. But the reason why they went that, they didn't have options. They had too many injuries in the fast bowling department, and they went with Bhuvi because experience है, new ball के साथ निकाल सकता wickets. That's why they went with him, and he was picking up wickets even in that Pakistan game. Him and Arishdeep started really well. So he was having one bad over every game. But apart from that, even today you see Bhuvaneshwar's figures. That first over he bowled, he picked up a
3 overs,
wicket.
12. Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's doing
Today
a
was
certain
actually a
job.
very good spell. Yeah.
Yeah, but whereas Chahal, when he was bowling there in the Asia Cup in knockout situation, Bhuvi he did pick up that wicket of Babar Azam. That ball he bowled, the short ball hook play. He was getting wickets, and I'm not trying to defend Bhuvneshwar Kumar. The reason why he was playing is because there was too many injuries. I don't think otherwise Bhuvi should be in your top thing. I would have gone with a youngster, but they didn't want to take a risk with Umran Malik. It's simple as that. और हर्षल
Today
पटेल को
also,
दो दो दिए.
आज भी नहीं खिलाया उमरान को.
हाँ?
आज भी नहीं खिलाया उमरान को. I think respect someone, man. मेरा फैंटेसी में
हाँ?
मेरा फैंटेसी प्लेयर फैंटेसी पिक जो भी फैंटेसी मैच खेल रहा बेचारा मेरे और
Yeah,
कहेंगे.
so that's the management's bad call. You want to play fieldless cricket, but in crucial game you switch back to conservative cricket template. Yeah, 100%. But also there is something there with the individual as well, because you had two different captains. You had Virat Kohli and you had Rohit Sharma with different management. You had Kohli with Ravi Shastri and Rohit Sharma with thing, and they both decided not to play Chahal. They were decided. So there is something there with Chahal, and also I've seen personally live in the Asia Cup when you
First match.
depended on
Yeah.
him, he did not perform, and it's
Yeah.
simple as he was one of the weakest leg spinners there compared to the other leg
He got
spinners.
smacked. He got
That's my
smacked. He
opinion.
got
Yeah,
smacked.
that's
Yeah.
my opinion. But there has to be something there with the player as well, right? Because Kohli भी नहीं pick कर रहा उसको, रोहित शर्मा भी नहीं pick कर रहा. ऐसा नहीं है कि खाली रोहित शर्मा नहीं pick कर रहा. Then you can say something.
आई थिंक
But I
इंस्टाग्राम
agree
के
with
रील्स
you.
बंद करके इंस्टाग्राम के रील्स बंद करके फील्ड पे खेलना जरा ज्यादा.
Yeah.
तो वही वो जरा कंसंट्रेशन
Bilateral में
रहेगा.
दोनों जबरदस्त डालता है उन्हें हर वक्त देखो
मैं
ना.
वही बोला ना तुम्हारे लाइक बायलैटरल कैसा है.
2019 वर्ल्ड कप याद है आपको? 2019 वर्ल्ड कप याद है आपको? उसमें दोनों कुलदीप चाहल थे, अच्छा खेले, बस सेमीफाइनल में फिर से वो फ्लैट डालना शुरू कर दिया, ये वो, and they started doing single double the New Zealand guys and they got to a respectable score. So there is something there. I'm not saying that he's not a good player, he's an amazing bowler, outstanding, but I feel that you go with Ravi Vishnu, try to find another leg spinner, man, because if he's not going to
I mean,
compete with
there's a lot
Rohit.
of talent. I think you could, but I think, see, given Charles' record also, he is a very good spinner. I mean, I won't store
Of
it because
course.
IPL में भी उन्हें जबरदस्त डालता है. IPL में he's
He's
a
a good
very
spinner.
reputed spinner. But I think like the international scenario is a different game, and I think he just needs to understand each pitch and how each pitch internationally whenever he's going. I think he just needs to jot down some notes, understand कि भाई ये line इधर डालना है, ये line इधर डालना है, and तुम temperament अपना confidence जो भी boost कर सकते. So when you go on these bilateral series, I think it's important as a player to sort of do your homework and sort of understand yourself, and then it'll be easier for you going forward in the big tournaments. So I completely तो मैं neglect नहीं करूँगा उसको, but yeah, like you said, he does get smacked on big occasions. I think he just needs to learn how to rise on those. He is relatively like still young, so I think he has a decent amount of time.
If you take out Sky's innings, there's a big concern with India's batting. Boys didn't play well. Yes, man, Rishabh Pant struggled today. He opened the batting 6 of 13, bro. I saw that innings. He panicked quite a bit. Ishan Kishan looked good. I think he's someone for the future. Definitely opening the batting in T20 cricket, playing some really nice shots as well. Yes, he got out. He needs to work on trying to prolong your innings after you're getting a start. So he has to work on that. And then again, Hardik Pandya starting off very slow. The way he batted, he consumed like 6-7 deliveries. Surya आके फोड़ा नहीं तो नहीं आता था 190. उन्हें Hardik बहुत
Yeah,
slow,
definitely.
taking
बिल्कुल
too much
और
time.
देख
Then
yeah
Shreyas Iyer, bro. Shreyas Iyer failed an eye test.
I
आउट किसी ने, मैं आपको समझाऊं कैसा आउट हुआ उन्हें. थोड़ा सा हल्का सा शॉर्ट बॉल हुआ, उन्हें पीछे गया. He stepped onto his
back
stump, bro.
श्रेयस अय्यर एक महीने की छुट्टी मार लेके आया अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया नहीं खेला कुछ भी इसके बाद भी यार ये लगान में तो खैर टीपू को मैनकेट कर रहे थे मनकेट कर रहे थे लेकिन ये टीपू की उतनी उम्र के हरकतें क्या है यार तुम बैक पे आके विकेट पे कैसे चढ़ जाते यार
भाई he has a problem with the short ball में कब से मैं नहीं बोल रहा पूरा दुनिया बोल रही परसों आकाश
ठीक है भाई लाइक व्हाई डोंट यू फेस दैट मेरे को ये समझ में नहीं आता तुम्हारा या तो ये प्रॉब्लम है या तो वो प्रॉब्लम है या तुम शॉर्ट बॉल नहीं खेल सकते या तुम यू सॉर्ट ऑफ वो एज ले लेते थोड़ा सा तुम्हारा को दिया तो तुम एज के लिए जाते ये चीज ना you have to get over it I get it थोड़ा बहुत it's not that easy but कितना टाइम है यार तुम नेक्स्ट में प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं तुम्हारा करने potentially 1 month था 1.5 months था did he play the India England series
the India
he
England
didn't
earlier I think he was there one of the he was there on the tours, he's always there in and around, but yeah he
But
didn't
man,
play.
how do you not improve your skill? That is the most annoying thing for me. कि भाई तुम एक बार you make it to that level, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be there forever. You have to keep every day putting in the hours. And अगर
It's
short
nothing you
ball,
got to improve. The thing is, there's different ways of tackling it, right? One is you avoid the situation in terms of you try to start leaving the ball and everything. And in T20, look, in test matches, this guy won't be able to survive like that. But in T20 cricket,
yeah,
you can leave the ball, one for the over, yes, right? You can
mm,
leave the ball, you can do different things. You can try to tap it, try to play over third man. But now it's just fear, and he doesn't have a solution to it, and he has to practice it. I don't know what to tell him. Like, I'm not a professional cricketer, so I don't know how he can improve it. But one thing that he has to do, like what you said, he has to keep practicing until then. Don't pick him. I don't think he should be picked. And yes, you can play IPL and everything. Go and play domestic cricket and just Bharat short, go to Australia, sit there in the net for
Yeah,
1 month and play. You remember? I don't know if you know this. I read this in Saurav Ganguly's autobiography. He said 6 months, 7 months before the India Australia tour, the 1-1, the 2003 one, when Irfan Pathan came up and everything, he went over there not only as a captain. He wanted to see the dimensions and everything. As he went there 6 months earlier with Greg Chappell. At that time, he wasn't the India coach. He had an issue with the short ball, and he made sure that he went for 1 month. He stayed in Australia and practiced every day. And when he went, he scored 100 in the first game in Brisbane, if you remember, in that series. So you have to
that's the
do things like
difference.
that.
I
You have
think
to
it's
go
just
out of the
a
box. You have
yeah.
to
I
go
think it's
out
a
of the box.
temperament difference between Ganguly. Obviously, Ganguly was a winner. He wanted to win, and he was so like he used to bite his nails in the match. इतना परेशान आता था
This
match में.
is
But
not a winner.
only one question of श्रेयस अय्यर को एक ही सवाल है भाई कि तुम 1.5 month से बैठे थे एटलीस्ट कोई तुम्हारे कजिन ब्रदर को किसी को लेके जाके नेट में पिक्चर डला ले और पीआरडब्ल्यू रबर वाला आते खाली नीचे मार 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 करो उन्हें झुकाओ कुछ करो या क्रेजी बॉल आता था यू रिमेंबर क्रेजी छोटा बॉल आता था मार
Yeah.
मार के खिलाओ यार कुछ how do you not I mean I get it it's a mentally block जब तक you might even be practicing I'm not saying you're not practicing maybe you might even be
Yeah.
practicing बट वो एकदम सामने से आ गया तो तुम्हारे को फियर होता आई गेट इट बट ये लेवल ऑफ क्रिकेट पे आप विकेट
उसको
पे
pick
खड़े जा
नहीं
रहे
करना चाहिए. I think honestly Sanju Samson should have played today and think, because if it's a open weakness, like you're going to exploit him even more. You're going to like dent his confidence even more. Yeah, he'll have the odd 50, 60. He plays good against spin. Not every ball is going to be short, so he will have some good innings. But I think until he improves this, it doesn't have to solve the whole situation. But until he improves this,
व्हाट
you know,
अबाउट ऋषभ
सुरेश
पंत
रैना
ब्रो
को भी प्रॉब्लम था, ड्रॉप मारे थे उसको, फिर देन ही स्टार्टेड डूइंग डिफरेंट थिंग्स एंड he eventually avoided the situation. He's still not a good
व्हाट
puller or hooker of the ball, but he
yeah
managed. That's what you
what
need
about
to
Rishabh Pant bro Rishabh Pant is a concern for me always I just don't know why you guys back him so much
man. Look, I'm going to continue to back him, but it is a serious concern. Like in terms of one thing is, now he's opening. Sometimes he's playing in the middle. Sometimes Dinesh Karthik is playing. He's not 100% set on his position. That's one thing. But another thing is that a weakness that he has in T20 cricket is that. The people were saying that when the field is spread out, usko ekdam se marna hai, unhe nahi dekhta properly. He doesn't take a few balls and thing. But here, when he's opening the batting, he took a few balls. He still didn't make use of the power play. मतलब बोलते थे right, Test cricket में field पूरी अंदर
under
रहती, that's when उन्हें मारता. But it's not that. It's just that I think he's shuffling down, up and down the order. उसका पक्का नहीं है position right now in T20 cricket. So I think it's more to do with that. But yes, he has to improve. He needs to
मेरे लिए अगर ऋषभ
rotate the
पंत को एक
strike more. I think he has to play single double more and then start
नहीं
hitting.
नहीं
And
मेरे लिए
go.
उन्हें ओपनर तो नहीं है आई डोंट फील लाइक ही कैन ओपन मे बी ही कैन डू अ मच बेटर जॉब एट लाइक 5 or 6 बट वहां पे तो पांड्या ऑलरेडी है बट इवन इफ इट्स अ 6 एंड वो टाइम पे ही कैन कम एंड थोड़ा वो एंड में जो टेंशन रहता बट लाइक यू हैव टू हिट वो हिट आउट गेट आउट मेंटालिटी दिख रही है इसकी मेरे तो ओपनर की मेंटालिटी ऐसे नहीं होता यू हैव टू लाइक यू सेड 5 बॉल 4 बॉल मिनिमम 3 बॉल बोल तो चलो 3 बॉल लेके अंडरस्टैंड कर लेना आई डोंट थिंक उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग कैपेसिटी इतनी जल्दी है कि उन्हें इतनी जल्दी फील्ड समझ जाएगा या कंडीशन समझेगा सो आई थिंक फॉर हिम ही नीड्स टू कम समवेयर डाउन इन प्रॉब्ली अ 1 down और a 6 आई थिंक वो जबरदस्त रहेगा बिकॉज पृथ्वी शॉ पे भी अपन वही देखेंगे बट पृथ्वी शॉ वाज आल्सो एन ओपनिंग और मार था बट दे
I
डोंट
would pick
टेक द
Prithvi
टाइम
in my team, man. But the thing is, that's the thing, right? If he's playing in the IPL at number 4, 5, if he's playing there, even in Test cricket, he's coming in the middle order. I think play him in the middle order, but he has to improve. He needs to, even in the middle order. I don't think this is the management's fault. Because they're trying to fit him in the best as possible. I think he needs to, in T20 cricket, try to understand his game. Maybe he's putting too much pressure that har ball ghumana hai. But at the same time, he can't be too slow. I think he needs to play the single double game a bit more, find the gaps. His gap finding needs to be better, and then he can start clearing. Because the reason why I back him, bro, he has international test hundreds in England, in Australia, in South Africa. He has a magnificent one-day hundred in England as well. I know that ye past ka hai, but it's very recent past, and it shows he has the ability. Red ball में ऐसे hundreds मारना बहुत
बट
मुश्किल चीज है.
कंसिस्टेंट नहीं है वो चीज इट्स लाइक द गैप बिटवीन ईच सेंचुरी
टेस्ट
आई
क्रिकेट में
थिंक
उन्हें
माय
कंसिस्टेंट है,
सपोर्ट
बट इन वन डे ही इज नॉट एज. टेस्ट क्रिकेट उसको उठा लो रिकॉर्ड लास्ट 1-2 साल, ही इज हिटिंग रेगुलर 50s 100s मैच विनिंग नॉक्स. But yes, that's why I back him, because and I know
Hmm.
he can clear the boundary and everything. But if you're not getting the result, then yeah, there will be pressure on him. Now Ishan Kishan is coming, Dinesh Karthik came. He has to improve. He needs to improve his consistency. He probably, take less pressure in terms of trying to hit from ball one, and then go from there and see what happens.
Speaking of consistency, Kane Anna is giving out Sunrise as a statement. 61 मारे आज
बहुत
चन्ना.
स्लो खेला उन्हें, मगर आज लाइक दैट इनिंग्स पूरा उन्हें बैठ के सो गया था
But वही
मैं तो
एंकरिंग है जी उन्हें. एंकरिंग बॉय है उन्हें.
Again, yeah, he got the runs under his belt, but it wasn't the required rate. It was more stat padding towards the end. Some
Yeah.
nice shots on the
Stat
Siraj ko.
पैड बेचारे अन्ना स्टैट पैडिंग कहाँ करेंगे यार ये
Yeah,
जमाने
देखो,
में.
उनका anchor है role, so it's okay. I understand, but yeah, he has to like run rate
या
15,
थोड़ा
16 है, तो you can't
गाड़ी
be
में
playing like that.
पेट्रोल,
You have to
बाबा
be
की
well
गाड़ी में पेट्रोल
consistency.
डालना पड़ता थोड़ा. बाबा की गाड़ी
डालना
में
पड़ता है
पेट्रोल
पेट्रोल,
डालना.
पेट्रोल लेके थोड़ा सा दबा के खेलना पड़ता है ना, तो
What
it's
about
not.
Saudi's hat trick, brother? टेल को साफ कर दिया उन्होंने. टेल
Yeah,
तो नहीं
उन्हें
बोलूंगा,
मौका.
हार्दिक पांड्या ये अच्छे से
Yeah,
निकाल दिया.
last over they were going for the big shots, and credit to Saudi, man, because at that time Surya was going buck wild, man. Imagine
Yeah.
that over, Saudi only gave 4 runs. ना तो 215 हो जाता था score. The way हर ball उन्हें ठोक रहा था. So I think the smart thing he did was he kept Hardik on strike, and then after that he just picked up the wickets. Good slower balls. उसको they try to hit him above long off, नहीं हो रहा था, वो
Yeah.
connect नहीं हो रहा था, and catch पकड़ ले रहे थे. तो yeah, credit to Sadi. I think the way
मेरे
he
को
put
तो
his hands
मजाक नहीं
up.
यार, सूर्या कुमार बुक क्रिकेट दिखता है फिल्मों में. बुक क्रिकेट सब पेज
Yeah.
निकालते कि छह भाई इतना लगा है. कभी भी कुछ भी आ सकता है वो
Wingardium,
चीज.
Wingardium
लेविया
Leviosa. He's a
लेवियोसा.
wizard, bro. But also Deepak Huda was on a hat trick, bro. So 2 wickets, dot ball, no single and then wicket. उन्हें पंत पीछे से बोल रहा था hat trick ball. अरे वो ये ball क्यों डाले, दूसरा ball डालो जो पहले डाल रहे थे. And then he bowled that the next one and he picked up the third wicket. So he's like, मैं बोला तुम्हारे could hear it in the stump, like
पहले
so.
अपने आप को बोलो पंत क्या कर रहे हैं
Yeah.
भाई.
No, he'll get there. He'll get there. I think Rishabh Pant, 24, 25 years old, is still close, not at the peak of his career. He will learn from his mistakes. Maybe, sometimes he has to get dropped. Also, you have to remember, bro, he's been playing constant cricket every single format more than anybody. उन्हें हर
Yeah.
फॉर्मेट खेल रहा, टेस्ट से लेके T20 वनडे. तो I think he has to definitely take a break somewhere as well, Rishabh Pant. Sunrisers fans are not loyal to their great players. पहले राशिद करते थे, अब उसको गालियां देते. वो अब केन को स्टैट पैड बोलते कि कैसे फैंस है भाई. भाई हमारा प्लेयर जब है, जब उसको बैक करेंगे, जब नहीं है प्लेयर, जब नहीं बैक करेंगे. वी हैव टू बैक आवर प्लेयर्स. इफ राशिद को अगर हम बोलेंगे अरे क्या प्लेयर है ये वो, तो फिर हमारे बेचारे दूसरे त्रिपाठी विपाती परेशान हो जाएंगे. वी हैव टू बैक आवर बॉयज, ब्रो.
नहीं नहीं देखो, राशिद भाई करते भी अप्रिशिएट द गेम. हाँ, वी
मैं क्या.
अप्रिशिएट करते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि हम
या
अप्रिशिएट नहीं करते. राशिद भाई जो हमारे लिए
या
करे. Of course, he was an amazing loyal servant for the Sunrisers Hyderabad thing, and he was definitely. But जब वक्त आया, पैसे की बात बीच में आ गई, तो राशिद भाई वहाँ चले गए. And I think Rashid Bhai मेरे लिए तो one of my favorite bowlers है, without a doubt, and I support Afghanistan only because of him. और भाई अन्ना तो स्टैट पैडर नहीं है, और अन्ना को खुद पैड लेके भागना नहीं आ रहा, गैस टैक्स
आज
करते
करे सैड पैड बोल रहा हूँ मैं. आज करे उनके बोल रहा हूँ मैं,
हैं.
ब्रो.
भाई याद रखना.
Yeah, like that, Rashid Khan is the best
इसकी
spinner in the
क्लिप
world.
काटूंगा मैं, आशीष भाई इसकी क्लिप काटूंगा, टेंशन मत लो.
Rashid Khan is the best spinner in the world. मगर जब IPL के टाइम पे आता, बैगन भी सपोर्ट करेंगे उसको, कहीं को करना हमारे लिए खेल
बिल्कुल
रहा.
बिल्कुल.
हाँ?
करेक्ट करेक्ट. सही है, नहीं
दिल
बिल्कुल सही
दिल
बात.
तोड़
अच्छा,
दिया
मेरा
था
एक
वो.
सवाल है मुस्तफा, एक सवाल है मेरा.
पूछो, 2-3 पूछ लो. हाँ.
केएल राहुल नहीं परफॉर्म करा, क्यों नहीं खेल रहा है न्यूजीलैंड में? मतलब परफॉर्म दो मैचों में, बहुत बड़े मैचों में करा. ही हिट अ 50 अगेंस्ट बांग्लादेश, एंड देन हिट अ 50 अगेंस्ट
वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट,
जिम्बाब्वे.
वेरी वैलिड. मिलना चाहिए. वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट. मेरे पास जवाब नहीं है इसका. वेरी वैलिड
बिकॉज भाई अगर
पॉइंट.
आप सीखेंगे और अगर आप बढ़ना चाह रहे हैं, आप वाइस कैप्टन ऑफ इंडिया है, और अगर हम आपको फ्यूचर कैप्टन की अपॉर्चुनिटी देना चाह रहे हैं, तो फिर आप ये टाइम पे क्या करें? व्हाई आर यू प्लेइंग क्रिकेट ब्रो?
Yeah, 100%. And this is, I think they pulled this up in Crick Buzz. Jadeja also said this before. Ki, you have to like if you're not playing in other bilaterals, how do you expect to just suddenly gel together in a World Cup? But I'll give you an example though. I'll give you an example. England. if you see the team that won the World Cup, they hardly played together, bro. Like the series before against Pakistan, कोई भी नहीं था उसमें. Ben Stokes भी नहीं था, Livingston भी नहीं था, कितने की player नहीं थे, Butler भी नहीं था. That was due to injury, but the other players were resting. But when the time comes, bro, they come and they just smash it. That I think is to do with that as well. I think Indian players have a lot of talent, but mentality wise डर जाते. Ben Stokes is
एग्जैक्टली मेरा वही बात आने वाला था, विनर्स मेंटालिटी की बात आ जाती है.
because yeah, because bro, he uses his brain and he knows कि मैच मेरे को ही जिताना है और उन्हें लाके दे देता. He might not be the most gorgeous to watch, but it doesn't matter, bro. He has the power, he knows his strengths, he will win you the game. That's what you want. That's why he's the greatest
Exactly.
all-rounder right now in the world, right? So
We
I
need
think that's
11
what,
Surya Kumars in the team right now.
huh?
We need
इधर
11
कितने
Surya Kumar mentality.
कितने विकेट चाहिए भाई इनको. केएल राहुल की शादी करो और परमानेंट रेस्ट दे दो. Yeah, look, I think he should be playing this
परमानेंट
series.
रेस्ट या परमानेंट रेजिडेंसी, क्या बोल रहे भाई?
भाई अगर उसको नहीं खिला रहे अभी, then make him work back for his spot. Don't put him in the team. In the next series, you give Prithvi Shaw a chance, if या Shubman Gill a chance. Don't give him a chance. Let him go and perform in IPL, whatever your process is. Do that and then let him come back into the team. अभी उसको don't give him a walk in into the team. Let him earn it. It's simple as that. Because if he's not playing in this series, rest le raha, ye wo, it's not like he performed earlier either. So let him earn it back. Give the youngsters a chance and then go from there. Again, look, it's very. मैं इसलिए क्यों बोलता हूँ मालूम ये mentality wise, because it's very easy for to say कि youngster को खिलाओ जिताओ ये वो. मगर आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया की टीम देखो जो जीती T20 वर्ल्ड कप, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ प्लेयर्स 30s में थे.
30s,
इंग्लैंड की टीम देखो 7 8 जो 11 थे उसमें 30s में थे. So it's not just a youngster's game. You have the talent, you have the players. There's other things you have to work on, which is like your approach, your team selection, which Ashish mentioned. Of course, you have to work on that as well. Mental strength. You have to work on these things because you can't just make excuses कि youngster को खिलाओ नहीं जीत सकते इन लोगों के साथ. दूसरे टीम तो जीत रहे हैं, आप क्यों नहीं जीत रहे, right? रवि
सही
शास्त्री
है.
was on point that IPL है तब रेस्ट करो. इंडिया गेम्स आर नेशनल ड्यूटी. आप ऐसे उठकर नहीं ब्रेक ले सकते. वो सही बात है, मगर
Yeah.
जब रवि शास्त्री कोच था उन्हें भी ऐसा रूल बनाना था. नहीं बनाए भाई. भाई तो चिल मारते थे और सबको बोलते थे खेलो खेलो, बिकॉज पैसा इन्वॉल्व है, कोई छोड़ता नहीं आईपीएल. बात उन्हें
मैं
सही बोल रहा है. जब अपने पे आती है फिर कोई करता नहीं. वो टाइम पे उन्हें ही वाज द कोच ऑफ द इंडियन टीम. ही शुड हैव मेड अ रूल कि भाई आप रेस्ट लेना है आईपीएल में लो, यहाँ पे मत लो आप रेस्ट. आपको कोई रेस्ट नहीं कराएगा. ही शुड हैव मेड अ रूल लाइक दैट. देन he had the power at that time. It's very easy to say now in the commentary box कि भाई आईपीएल मत खेलो, ये रेस्ट करो, वो करो. मैं वो टाइम पे आप जब पावर था बोलना था कि भाई रोहित शर्मा यू नॉट प्ले मोर देन 7 games in the IPL. If your team is knocked out, don't play the remaining games. He could have had the power to say that.
नहीं, that's true. I think वो सही है कि भाई बोलना easy है, करना hard है. I think Ravi
Yeah.
Shastri had all the power in the world, but I think from a player's perspective also he will look at his own swarth, his own individual preference at a certain point. Okay, I would rather not miss IPL where I can sort of, because everybody knows man, IPL is like the selection committee's main eyes, where they look at it. वो एक selection committee वाले देखते कि वो बोलते हैं ना स्कूल में कि अपन या ये टूर्नामेंट खेले तो तुम्हारा टीम में लूंगा मैं, ये टूर्नामेंट में हम लोग ये खेले, इंटर स्कूल अगर खेले तो तुम्हारा उधर चांस देंगे. सो आई थिंक पहले तुम येलो हाउस, ब्लू हाउस, रेड हाउस खेल लो, फिर तुम स्कूल के लिए खेलेंगे. सो आई थिंक वही है ये आईपीएल का गेम कि आईपीएल will always be that selection criteria where if you perform in an IPL you easily get into the T20 squad of India, and that is proven again and again. We've seen उमरान मलिक also, अभी उन्हें खेला नहीं बट आईपीएल में थोड़ा बहुत उसको देखे तो उन्हें भी ऑलमोस्ट ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ गेटिंग एन इंडियन कैप है. तो आई थिंक यह चीज रोकना चाहिए ना. ओवरऑल सीजन को मद्देनजर रखते हुए दे हैव टू सॉर्ट ऑफ सेलेक्ट टीम.
वो भी क्या मालूम, लाइक बहुत 50-50 रहता. अब जैसा आईपीएल में दिनेश कार्तिक 2-3 परफॉर्मेंसेस दिया, उसको ले लिए वर्ल्ड कप में. नहीं बनता था उसका. मैं डॉन को पहले से बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं बनता था उसका. लाइक सो दैट्स आल्सो इट बिकम्स 50-50 लाइक दैट. लाइक you can't take IPL only as a basis. You have to look at current form
Exactly.
also. You have to look at international form
Overall,
and
that's
all
a
that.
whole season have to assess and take out the stats and understand कि भाई
Yeah.
किधर कौन, again there are a lot of things, stats है, country का कौन से कंडीशन में कौन अच्छा खेलता, वो stats है. इतने stats है, इतने एक्सेल शीट है, निकालो भाई, मिलता आपको डेटा तो मिल जाता आपको वैसे.
Yeah, and देखो फैज ये टीम मेरे को मालूम था was not good enough to win the T20 World Cup, but if you see the last T20 World Cup and the 2019 50 over World Cup, I think they're strong enough to win the World Cup and they did
Yeah,
it. So it's not just
agreed.
about like team selection and all that. Yeah, they made a mistake. Vijay Shankar, ये वो फिर भी जिता सकते थे वो World Cup. Yeah, they're making problems with the team management. मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ. But even with the team that you have, you can win World Cup, bro. You can, like,
Yeah.
you have the
Yeah, you
talent, you
can.
have the
I
players.
mean, I think it's just like you mentioned rightfully, man. That winners mentality, वो winners mentality, जो hunger है, जो desire है, वो ज्यादा नहीं दिखती अपने प्लेयरों में. Like England का just
Mr.
football,
Spinner
play
कहाँ है?
throughout the year.
T20 2021 वर्ल्ड कप वाला. Look, इसमें भी मैं बोलता हूँ कि I think Virat Kohli made a good call in that by picking what's his name, Varun Chakravarti,
But
because उन्हें
yeah,
actually mystery spinner था, अच्छा कर रहा था, and I thought that maybe it wasn't like he would cause problems for opposition. मगर गलती कहाँ हुई? उसका इंजरी प्रॉब्लम था, नजरअंदाज करे. They picked him with an injury. That was the problem. But as a bowler, I think Virat Kohli took a good risk. Why not try someone like Narayan is a mystery type bowler. He bowled well in the IPL. I backed Kohli's decision at that time, but I think the guy was not fully fit, and that's where the player needs to be responsible. जब भी इंडिया का मौका आता है, इन्हें इंजर हो जाता है वरुण चक्रवर्ती. So if he can work on that and improve, he does have the skill. I think he can cause problems. But yeah, I wouldn't slate the decision at the time. But yeah, it turned out bad, so you can't do anything about it.
I mean, again, it's a gamble you have to take. I mean, you can't always
Yeah,
go with the
I don't
same
have a
people. I
problem with
mean,
that.
but the
Yeah,
only thing is that as a player, you need to be responsible enough to
I would
understand.
I
Like
would
this,
have taken him.
like
For
like
example,
like like yesterday we saw Karim Benzema. He was injured. He said, "नहीं भाई,
yeah,
whatever for best for the team, and I'm going to step back." So
yeah, step back.
France के
Yeah,
लिए उन्हें
that's where the
Ballon d'Or winner
individual
है.
and the
He would
captain.
exactly.
And also, like, in this World Cup, I would have liked to see Rohit Sharma take a risk like that and go Ravi Bishnoi. People might have slated him, right?
Yeah.
And this Ashwin ko koi ko nahi khila rahe, Chahal ko koi ko nahi khila rahe, but I would have liked to see that. So I don't mind if it doesn't go the thing, but go with the mystery spinner, go with the
Yeah,
spinner that you know.
all goes back down to MS Dhoni giving the ball to Jogendra Sharma. That is the gamble that you will remember for
Guys,
the rest of your lives.
why did what was his thought process for giving him the ball?
Because nobody else wanted it.
अरे क्या बच्ची के पास गया
हर
और
बजा तो यही हर
मेरे
बजा तो
को
यही
ये
करा.
वाला मेरे को बॉल नहीं होना निकलो यहाँ से तो उसके बाद ऑप्शन नहीं था बट या
But yeah,
आई
even in that aspect, I think Dhoni was at that temperament that even if Jogendra Sharma ने उन्हें कैप निकाल के पैड निकाल के उन्हें डाल देता था. Because you
या
can't do anything. You have to play the game.
100%. To wrap this up, Fez, like the game itself, from New Zealand's point of view, their positive was Tim Sadhi with the ball. Williamson got some runs in the end, but very slow strike rate of 117, and the rest of the batsmen didn't chip in. So I think that's where you have to blame the rest of the batsmen, the likes of Glenn Phillips, Finn
Yeah.
Allen, Daryl Mitchell, Conway.
I
Conway
think
again,
Nisham is someone I'm very disappointed with because I think
zero of
he's
three, man.
someone yeah, and then he got 1 over 9 runs and he's just been very he's the way he's been getting a reputation of a T20 finisher and a T20 all rounder. He could be a potential all rounder in one of the best in the world, but since the World Cup उन्हें थोड़ा off हो गया, World Cup में भी he
सही
didn't
बोल रहा हूँ.
perform. So I think he has to really improve his game for
उसको
you
बैलेंस
need
ऑफ द
to
टीम के लिए खिलाए थे वर्ल्ड कप में मगर उन्हें परफॉर्म ही नहीं कर रहा.
Yeah, so I think वो बहुत important है जब आपका बीच का और क्या बोलते हैं मिडिल मैन अगर नहीं परफॉर्म करा जो potentially can get you to a better finishing score फिर पॉइंट नहीं है उसका गेम में ना बॉल से दे रहा ना बैट से दे रहा तो घर में बैठा
Yeah.
तो उसको भी.
And this is a very strong New Zealand team, right? मैं यही बोल रहा हूँ, like India, you would say like the youngsters, second string players at that time, during the World Cup, you would say that. But that's the thing, right? Like in bilaterals, they play with this certain freedom. They play with this like fearlessness. Just need to implement that in the World Cup. That's all, because they're a very talented team.
I think एक और चीज ये है मुझसे कि the bilateral में it's just one team that you have to play. एक each team है New Zealand for example like in a World Cup तुम्हारा every time there's a new team the next
I know, but
तो
वही है,
नया
that's
homework नया player के बारे में
where
सोचना
you have to be on top of it. That's where you have to be on top of it. But one positive I'll say from India's point of view is that Deepak Huda is one of the rare batsmen who was bowling, and it made a difference today. He picked, yes, last over में निकाला 3 wicket उन्हें, मगर it improves the balance of the team. It gives you that option. Sometimes in the power play when the left-hander is there, someone like Deepak Huda can come in and give you an over, give like 5-6 runs. It can be very crucial. It can pick up a wicket as well. So I think this is a major advantage. And I think the batsmen coming in, the youngsters need to start rolling their arm over. Whether it's Prithvi Shaw, Shubman Gill, Iyer, they need to start practicing the nets. I know Iyer has a lot of other things to practice, like the short ball, but
Yeah.
bowling is something that they
And
definitely
stepping
do.
on the wickets. And stepping on the wickets.
उन्हें वो शॉट,
But
अरे
I think
छोड़ मारो बॉल बोल के ऐसा
from
पीछे
a
चले गए, क्या हंसी आई।
from a yeah,
हाँ,
like from a mentality of a player, like if we've also played cricket and stuff like that. Not obviously at this level, but I think for the Prithvi Shaw and the Shubman Gill, this is the time. This is the perfect time for you to become a an international level cricketer. I mean, यहाँ पे तुम्हारी potentially you can cement your name in the 11. You know what I mean? And when people like KL Rahul and these guys are on holidays, or like when these guys are not performing, the Hardik Pandya, इधर आके तुम ये टाइम है लाइक संजू सैमसन के लिए, ये टाइम है उमरान मलिक के, इन लोगों का आके बताने का टाइम पे अगर आके फेल हो रहे तो वो मेरे को अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And whoever's watching, a few people joined us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. You also subscribe to our football channel, Chasing Green Arrows. We're going to be doing a lot of World Cup content as well. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button. It'll really help us grow. We're a very small channel right now, and we will try to improve our own content ourselves and try to get you the best and have a bit of fun with you guys as well. Make sure you ask your questions as well whenever you can. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Faz,
Yes.
anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap?
Just wanted to thank Ashish Bhai for his questions throughout the
Extra comments.
stream,
Fun
and
support.
he's always it was a little controversial, a little bit of fun. तो राशिद भाई हमारे दिल में है, ऐसा नहीं है राशिद भाई के हम राशिद भाई को भूल गए. बट या
Yeah,
जब
shit.
आईपीएल जब आता तो खाली हैदराबाद में और किसी का नहीं.
Yeah, अब मेरा सिंपल है भाई, छोड़ यार टीम हमारी अब नहीं, खत्म. बहुत जबरदस्त प्लेयर है, मगर जब आमने सामने का गेम रहता, then you gotta support your players, right?
You.
Imagine it's like freaking like from Punjab someone go like bears to go somewhere or something and start smashing, वैसे ही दिल में दर्द शुरू हो जाता. But yeah, Faz, football World Cup, who are you supporting?
I am going with
एक टीम बोलो पहले, फिर उसके बाद
अच्छा
देख सकते.
एक टीम मेरे लिए तो देखो सऊदी अरेबिया इज
बैगन
there,
पकड़ो
but
तो
like
बैगन
on a
पकड़ो
real on a realistic scale, again, so yeah, I've always been a fan of England, so I think I'll be supporting England.
You're supporting England.
Yeah.
And your favorites to win?
Favorites to win is Argentina.
Argentina. And your second team is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, second team Saudi Arabia. Obviously, सुई तो अपन support करते हैं, रोनाल्डो भाई हमारे दिल में है.
The reason why I said that is because I didn't want you to copy me. My number one team is Saudi Arabia. My number two team is Canada.
Netherlands.
And that's it, bro. We're
Oh,
rolling. We're rolling, bro.
what about your Netherlands, bro?
Yeah,
10
that's
साल
why
से Netherlands.
Netherlands, I always have a soft corner, man. Since the
Yeah, so
Venezuela
Netherlands
days,
is like my Portugal is like your Netherlands, basically.
yeah, I do not like Portugal. I do not like England.
I don't like
Uh,
you.
I don't like you. I don't like jokes. But yeah, I think what's it called? Holland, Venezuela, 2003, 4. That's when I started watching them. And actually, they play a type of football which is entertaining. That total football, passing it around, quick. And
Your team to win.
it's high risk as well. You remember that game against Portugal? There was like 6 red cards, 5 red cards in the round of
Yeah,
16,
six.
2006.
Yeah.
And they lost that game, Netherlands. I was so pissed off that game.
Your
Since
team
then,
to win the World
huh?
Cup. Your
Sorry?
team to win the World Cup. Who do you think you want to win the World Cup?
Holland.
Holland?
Netherlands. Yeah,
You think
that's my
Holland will
third.
win?
That's my like big team, big boy team. But I'm supporting Saudi Arabia, bro. I just hope they win one game. I'll be really happy. Last time they did that, they beat Egypt. I was very happy. They beat Mohamed Salah, and I was excited with that. One game we need to win, bro. This World Cup. It's got very tough group because it's playing Poland, Mexico, and Argentina. But that Mexico game, there's a slight chance. Let's see what happens.
Inshallah.
इंशाल्लाह. बढ़िया. कल वरुण धवन को ब्राजील बोला रोज चेंज करता. वरुण धवन को मैं बोला ऐसे ही बोला, मेरे को नहीं समझ में आ रहा था क्या वो बोल के स्टार है हमारे सामने, में परेशान हो गया. ही इज सुपरस्टार, बॉलीवुड स्टार, मैन. लाइक
देखो मैं एक चीज बता, आशिफ भाई, फैंटेसी अगर अपन वर्ल्ड कप फैंटेसी खेल रहे हैं, कोई भी फैंटेसी के गेम खेलते प्रीमियर, बिफोर द मैच स्टार्ट्स यू कैन चेंज योर टीम. So I think that's what Mustafa is doing. Before the World Cup starts,
like, you asked who I think will win the World Cup. Like, I know I didn't give the answer.
No, I'm just to like Ashish's comment.
If you ask me, Brazil is the strongest team. They're the favorites, but I
don't think they're gonna win.
I don't want them to win the World Cup. Like I still feel Brazil and Argentina solid teams, man. It's going to be tough to beat them. But
I just feel Argentina because they've been playing so consistently. They're playing a lot of football and they've been one unit, and they're like an England going in.
And you have that it's Messi swan song, maybe his last World Cup. It adds to the emotion and everything. You never know what
That's true.
happens. So no, no, no. I'm not gonna say that, bro. Like, don't worry about it. Going Holland,
Fair.
Saudi Arabia for the win, bro. That's it.
Inshallah. Come on,
Uh,
Saudi. Halwa, Saudi.
yeah, man. But yeah, that wraps it up. Fez, I think there's that game on Tuesday, the Australia, England, and then we have India, New
England
Zealand
match.
as well. Let's see
Yeah.
what more cricket comes up. We have the Sri Lanka Afghanistan series coming up. We will discuss that as well for our fans.
Currently,
And
there's even USA Namibia going on. USA is also
yes,
playing.
and also, Fez, there's a Desert Cup going on right now where Canada is playing, Saudi is also playing cricket.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it's in. It's not here. I forgot where it was, man. It was in Kuwait. It's in Oman, I
Bahrain.
think. Oman. It's in
Okay.
Oman, Muscat.
Oh,
I think it's in Muscat. Yeah, there's a Desert Cup going over there. I know. Ramesh Bhai told me about it, and then I saw like Canada was playing pretty well as well in that. So that's a. I think we'll look at the
nice.
scores and see if we can find highlights on that and discuss that as well because
Yeah,
it's good to
definitely.
some of these
It's
players.
yeah,
Ashish, these guys I played with, so
yeah.
it'll be cool to see that. Yeah, it's in Oman,
Yep, yep.
Ashish. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. So make sure you like and subscribe. We will get you content every day, hopefully. And I know the football's going on, but we will never leave our cricket, and we can discuss some football here as well. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Enjoy the day. It's World Cup day now, and as a sports fan, it's an exciting day for all of us. We're pumped up every day. We're gonna have a football game. Today we have one. Tomorrow we have three. The day after we have four. So it's gonna be wild scenes. Enjoy the football, enjoy the cricket as well. Stay safe. Thank you, Faiz, for joining me as usual,
Thank you.
and take care of yourself.